What's going on, guys? If you've been watching from day 30, today is day 29 of the 30-day series. 30-day series. So tomorrow, I'm going to go all out. Okay, I've been doing like whiteboard videos, explaining stuff. But tomorrow, I'm going to go all out. I think it's going to be really cool. So if you're watching this, check out tomorrow's video because it's going to be cool. I have a few ideas for it, and I'm not sure 100% what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go all out. I'm going to try to. So check out tomorrow's video. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make money in real estate. So all the different ways you can make money in real estate. So I want to preface this entire video by saying, obviously, there's going to be multiple different ways to source the same income. Let me explain that. So if you're doing multifamily and you're wholesaling multifamily, then obviously wholesaling is going to be the general term of wholesaling single family and multifamily. I'm not going to go into like wholesale multi and wholesale single. It's just going to be the general concepts of how to make money. Okay, so first up, of course, you have traditional. Am I spelling that right? So this is agents, okay? We're going to just say traditional as agents, okay? So this is just being a real estate agent, getting a license, hanging it with a brokerage, and then you're going to obviously buy and sell real estate, or just sell real estate. You're not buying it, but you might help people buy it. So you're just traditional agent. You're getting commission 2.53% per deal you sell. You're going on the MLS. You're listing properties. You're doing this, this, and this. Okay. So this also, I'm going to say, is broker. So under traditional real estate, you can be a broker. Okay. So this is basically a fancy agent if you don't know what it is. So when you get your license as an agent, as a real estate agent, you hang your license under a broker, okay? Which is just a fancy term for saying he's like the guy who knows what he's doing and you're like the apprentice kind of thing, but not really. But the broker is the guy who owns the brokerage, okay? So there's a brokerage, if we just add an AGE. So think of it, broker age, okay? So like it's an agent that's been in the business for a while and they create a brokerage. Age, because they're older. Get it? Okay, so a brokerage is basically a place where agents can hang their license, do deals, and the broker is the head of the brokerage, okay? So think like... I don't know any like big brokers off the top of my head. Like Ryan Serhant, I'm pretty sure he's the broker for Serhant. I don't know if that's the brokerage name, but that gives you an example. Okay, 2 is traditional investing. Traditional investing. Investing. Okay. So traditional investing is buying and selling real estate. Okay. Jerry Norton always likes to say this is called the takedown method, okay? TDM, takedown method. So basically, the takedown method is where you buy a piece of real estate and then you list it on the MLS after doing minimal work to it and you sell it. So you're buying and selling. So basically, like when wholesaling eventually goes to you're not allowed to wholesale anywhere, then traditional investing is just going to be where you go. So this includes buying real estate, flipping real estate, holding, BRRRR strategy, all of this different stuff. So obviously there's going to be multiple drop downs here. So you've got BRRRR, buy, renovate, rent, refinance. I feel like I'm missing an R here. Buy, renovate, rent, refinance. Repeat. Repeat's the last one. Okay, so BRRRR is the traditional investing. When I think traditional real estate, traditional buying and holding, I think BRRRR. Like this is the OG method: buy, renovate, add value, refinance. Okay, so that's like traditional. Then you just have like flipping, okay, which is also I would consider traditional real estate. Like that's been in the game forever. And then you've got the takedown method. You've got the takedown method, which is basically the same thing as flipping, except you're doing less work to it. So you might buy it, clean it out, resell it. Okay, so this is like traditional investing, and obviously under Burr, flipping, whatever, buy and hold. You've got buy and hold, which is basically Burr. But if you're not doing Burr, you can just buy it and hold it and not do anything. And then obviously all of these fall under multifamily too. So like I said at the beginning of this video, you've got single family and you've got multifamily, but this is just the broad for everything. Same thing with agents. You can be a multifamily agent, commercial brokerage. It's all the same thing, but just general real estate is what I'm talking about. So you've got buy and hold, and then obviously under traditional investing, you've got creative and everything and cash. So there's different ways to do it. Next, you've got wholesaling. Wholesaling. Okay. So wholesaling, there's different drop downs as well. You have dispo, so you can just run a dispo company. Or you've got full, which I'm just going to write full, which basically means your acquisition and disposition. Or you can just have an acquisition company. So there's different ways to do it, right? You could have dispo only, you could have acquisition only, which I don't think I've ever heard of somebody just doing acquisition. I guess if you're like bird dogging, then this is technically just acquisition. You're not really dispoing, but you're also dispoing to a buyer. I've never heard of a company that's literally just acquisition. Oh, PPL, I guess, is just acquisition. You're not dispoing the deals, right? So like if you run a PPL company, then you're just sourcing leads, right? But you still have to do acquisition to close the lead. Anyways, so the main ones are dispo and then full-time. So full-time is acquisition and dispo. And then obviously under all of this, you've got cash and creative, okay? So you've got cash and creative. So cash and then creative sub 2, seller finance. Check out my other videos if you don't know what that is. And then cash is just obvious. That's buying a property for cash. So then under wholesaling, so this is where people might argue with me. I think there's a method called novations. And I think that novations are their own animal. Oh my gosh, my computer, guys. Novations. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. That's so bad. Okay, so people might argue with me here. I think Novation's a completely different animal than wholesaling, right? Because Novations, you have so many more moving parts. I tried to do a Novation on a piece of land, and I only had wholesale experience. This was when I was relatively new, and I did mailers for land. Dumb decision, but I learned from it. Anyways, so if you're doing a novation, you're getting under contract with the seller for like 90 days, 120 days, and then you're going to list the property while under contract, and you usually do a little bit of work, clean up the property so you get the best value. List it as the as-is value, and you get a retail buyer to buy that property from you. And then you do a novation agreement. So it's not even an assignment agreement because the buyer's taking over your position in the contract instead of just assigning the contract to you. So it's really different than wholesaling. And a lot of people combine these two, which I guess it's not as much of a radical difference as the first two compared to wholesaling. But I would say that novations are very, very different. They're their own animal, you know? So I would say novations, realistically, novations are kind of their own animal because you've got so many more moving parts. You've got people you have to please. You have all of this stuff. And it's just so much different than wholesaling. So if we go back to wholesaling, you've got dispo, you've got full-time, you've got acquisition. So if you're full-time, then you're doing dispo and acquisitions. Obviously, you can JV with people and sell their deals. But I mean, there's really multiple ways to make money in real estate. So, and then everything falls under cash and creative. So this is kind of what I was telling you guys. So, and then I would say traditional investing is the most popular. I mean, I don't know. So if we go back to TDM, so takedown method, this is also called wholesaling, by the way, if you didn't know that. But you've got multiple different ways, right? And Burr, you can actually go deeper into Burr and flipping and buying and holding. Like in buy and hold, you just have normal LTR, which is long-term rent, short-term rent, which is like Airbnb, and then mid-term rent. So there's multiple ways that you break it down, and you can dive deep into one of these and find out crazy ways you can do it. So like even if you're a traditional agent, you could get into pocket listings and you can make a ton of money, or you could get into pocket listings on the creative side, or you could target listings that are specifically on the creative side and pitch creative as a buyer's agent for somebody else. So there's so many different ways you can get into it. And so many different ways you can dive deep into any of these categories and make money in real estate. So even if you're wholesaling, like I said, wholesaling in general is you find a person that wants to sell their house, you get it at a discount, and then you sell it to a end buyer. But if you really look into wholesaling, there's so many different ways you can make money, right? You can have the dispo company. You could do PPL. You could do PPC if you wanted to. Ooh, here's another way. Tech. Almost forgot about tech. So I would categorize tech in real estate because there is real estate tech. Like you've got Deal Machine, PropWire, Privy, Batch. You've got so many different ways. And also, like if you're running PPC campaigns for somebody, that's also tech. But technically, pun intended, you're still in real estate. So you're still running real estate ads for somebody if you're doing PPC. So you're still technically in real estate, pun intended, I would say. But yeah, I mean, really, there's so many different ways to get into it. So like Novations, you've got people like Richard Wonders, who's just absolutely insane, and he literally only does JV deals with people, I think, or the majority of his business is JV, which is crazy. So he's doing Novations at scale, and the majority of his business comes from JV. And then you've got Burr flipping, and then you can get into luxury flipping, which is also crazy, or you've got flipping multifamily. So there's just so many different ways. And you can be creative and kind of mix and match these and see how you can make money in ways that people haven't made money, or find a niche that people haven't really taken advantage of. So yeah, that's what I would say is these are the 5 main ways. And Novation, I would really say, is like 3.5, honestly. I don't know. But it's close enough to its own thing that it deserves a spot, Anyways, but you can kind of mix and match. Like, for example, if you wanted to combine 3 with 1, then you could do, like I said, find creative deals for wholesalers, and then you're kind of getting into the wholesale space and you're still traditional. Or like if you want to wholesale and also flip, then you can like take down one property, or you can bird dog for a flipper. And so there's different ways to combine everything. Or you could just literally wrap this tech around the entire thing and have a tech company that literally solves a problem for everybody. So the biggest thing I would recommend if you're getting into real estate or you want to expand your business is to find a problem that involves as many of these as possible. If you can find a problem that solves 1 through 5, like you literally will be rich, because people are going to pay to have that problem solved. And now you're paying this entire group all of the ways to get money in real estate. You're paying them, or they're paying you to solve their problem. So you need to figure out, okay, what's a problem that has most of these people, most of these categories, And how can I fix that problem and get paid to do so? And that's how you can make the most amount of money. Because a lot of people think, okay, let's just wholesale, which is fine, it works. But what if you found wholesaling and you're really fixing a problem for the flipper too? So you're really kind of fixing 3 and 2 with wholesaling. But what if you figured out a solution to a problem for wholesaling, traditional investing, and agents? What if you did pocket listings or something that's creative to sell to flippers? Now you're solving agents' problem. You're solving a wholesale. You're still wholesaling, and you're solving flippers. So now you're gonna get into a niche where not many people are, and now you can solve bigger problems and get paid more money. So this is kind of what you have to think about. And there's different creative ways if you dive deep into it. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys got any value, then like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. We got some good stuff in there. And then, yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.